So welcome back. In the last video, I have used the traffic monitor as an administrator, and that means I can see all data no matter to which organization or whatever it belongs to. So, let's suppose that I would like to give my API manager users access to the traffic monitor. Now you can do that. So let's have a look into my API manager. So, and I go in here with an API administrator. So, and first of all, I would like to have a look for the application developers that are in my system. At the moment, I have only one, which belongs to the organization API development. Let's have a look for, let's say, an organization Plexus Health or FHER. So that means there are some APIs like the FHER device API, which is and let's say we don't want to see that HL7 API. So that means someone who should only be able to see FHER APIs. So that means they should not see that HL7. I hope that's belonging to a different organization. Let me just check. This is the, let's have a look for module. Plexus Health. Yes, right. So that means when we are now setting up a user and say that application developer, create a new user, and this guy is called FHER, say FHER at mail.com. And the organization obviously is FHER. Now it doesn't matter if the user is a user or an organization administrator. I stick to the user for that demo. And the user is saved. And now change the password. Okay. And so that means this user now belongs to the FHER API, and now you can assume that this user should have access to FHER APIs only. So that means this user should only see traffic from that organization. So for that, I have to give that user access to the API Gateway Manager. And the recommended way is to use single sign-on, is to use a same LDAP directory or something like that for the API manager and for the gateway manager, in order to avoid that you have to set up the user on both sides manually. So that means I do that now manually and say create a new user, say that user should be FHER, and this is important that the username must be the same between the gateway manager and the API manager. The password doesn't matter. This password here at the gateway manager is then important. So, and the necessary check, or depending if a user or the decision if a user should see everything or only a limited restricted access, depends on a permission. And that permission, or the role here at the top, contains that permission. You can read in the documentation which permission is used. So that means as long as you do not give that user a role that contains that special permission, the user will have a restricted access to the gateway manager. So now my setup is done, and I can now try to log on or log in with that user. FHER. It takes a while, just for information again, because that all this is hosted in the United States and I'm based in Europe. And if I now go to the traffic again and say this is for 100, and I would like to see the traffic from the last 30 minutes. This is just, I'm reducing this to make sure that that not too much data is transferred to my local browser from the United States. And even if I now go and search for something else, you see only FHER APIs are shown to that user. So that means that now that user can really go in a self-service fashion into the traffic monitor and have a look for all the necessary details to see, for instance, why an API was not successful, to make some, I don't know, decisions or whatever. It's, of course, I don't have obviously examples now. This includes the trace messages as well. So that means this reduces the amount or the burden on that API or on that admin to tell them what was wrong with a certain API. So that's all for the restricted gateway traffic monitor so that you can enable API manager users to use the traffic monitor. In the next video, I will explain now how we can extend the Elasticsearch cluster to become HA.